This video is brought to you by patreon.com/worsttake. Get access to exclusive live streams and Discord servers, on-screen shoutouts, and early access to some videos when you join now. Help make sure that we can continue to make content like this by supporting the Patreon. Links are in the description down below. Two pieces of Browns news dropped this afternoon. One of them, I think, is flying under the radar and is actually kind of a big deal. And the other one is something that's really cool that we're really going to spend a lot of time talking about. So let's just get into it. Let's start with the cool thing. The Browns brought in Mike Vrabel to be a consultant for them. Now, this is not anything new. Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry, and let me go pull up the report here from Ian Rappaport, right? It says that Browns coach Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry hired Mike Vrabel to serve as a consultant per the Browns, per him, and Tom Pelissero, former Titans coach and coach of the year, been with them since, okay, and that's just when he gives the description of what Mike Vrabel has done in his career. So, this is from Ian Rappaport. This is from one of the most reliable guys. It's coming from Kevin and Andrew Berry that they have hired Mike Vrabel, which is a piece of information that like people are going to try to forget. I know this city loves conspiracy theories. It's not going to take people long to jump on is Kevin Stefanski going to be gone? Kevin's going to be here. He's probably going to get an extension in the summer. Same with Andrew Berry. And ultimately, a lot of the moves that they've made, bringing in Ken Dorsey, having a younger staff, bringing in Mike Vrabel, are moves that you make when you are very secure about your job, right? Like these are moves that you make when you know that you have the job for a little while. Because a lot of people would be intimidated to bring in Mike Vrabel because of his resume, especially if they don't have one that stacks up. But Mike Vrabel has one coach of the year. Kevin's got two of them, right? So it's not like Kevin's insecure about that. Another piece of this came from, who was it that reported the exact reason? Robert Mays reported this. Shout out Robert Mays. He says, the plan here, as it was communicated to me, is for Vrabel to act as a sounding board for Kevin Stefanski, also as a resource for a coaching staff with a lot of youth and turnover. It's an interesting idea. The Browns have a lot of coaches transitioning from being coordinators or position coaches in college to coaching in the NFL. Now, currently on the Browns staff, there's nobody that's experienced with making that transition. Kevin Stefanski is an NFL lifer. Jim Schwartz is an NFL lifer, right? All the important Bubba Ventrone is an NFL lifer. All of their main coordinators are NFL lifers. All the people in positions of authority for the Cleveland Browns are NFL lifers. They have never coached in college and made that transition to the NFL. Mike Vrabel has made the jump from college position coach to the NFL. So when you have Tommy Rees, when you have the new running backs coordinator that you have now, when you have a younger offensive line coach, you want to bring in somebody who has that experience making that transition, right? They brought in two offensive coordinators from the college level to be position coaches in Tommy Rees and their new running back coach. So it makes sense that they bring in Mike Vrabel to kind of mentor those guys. It goes without saying, if you bring in Mike Vrabel as a consultant, he's also, going to help consult on the defensive side of the ball. And it is interesting because Mike Vrabel was a coach last year when the Browns played the Tennessee Titans, and now he's going to be one of the guys helping find ways to terrorize teams with Myles Garrett. Remember last year, he was that team was so consumed of Myles Garrett fear that they ran two tight ends to mirror him. It's one of the most viral moments of last year. And one of the moments that really cemented Myles Garrett's argument for Defensive Player of the Year, because when a team's willing to do that to you and they ain't never did that to any edge rusher ever, well, that tells you a lot about how good that dude is, number 95. So now he goes from being terrorized by Myles Garrett to helping inflict the terror on Myles Garrett. So Mike Vrabel, Browns get him. I think that's a big deal when it comes to just getting voices around. I think Gus Brantley is somebody that they have also consulting with them last year. Now Mike Vrabel, so the Browns always willing to get that experience into the building. The Browns expect to make a championship run, right? And maybe it's not just Mike Vrabel's experience as a coach that they want, right? Mike Vrabel was a player on some championship teams. It's always good to have that kind of experience. I am never going to sit there and complain about bringing in a Mike Vrabel for this team. I think Kevin's at a place to where he's super secure about his future. 2-time Coach of the Year, coming off an 11-5 season, likely to get an extension in the summertime. We all know he should be in a secure place, despite whatever some people on the internet want to say about it. Same thing with Andrew Berry. So this makes sense to do. They're one of the few teams in the position to go after Mike Vrabel, and it makes all kinds of sense here for the Cleveland Browns. The other bit of news that I thought was a little bit more interesting than bringing in Mike Vrabel, right? Because it's a big name. Mike Vrabel's a big name. You bring him in, I think people are going to talk about it because he was a good head coach. He could not find a job. I think this is, again, the Browns' way of being able to have Mike Vrabel, do Mike Vrabel a solid, right? Have that extra voice, have somebody there for your younger coaches to talk to if Kevin's not getting to them, right? Like, it's just another resource that you can have in the building. Also, if you're Mike Vrabel, I mean, he's from the Ohio area. He's from Ohio. I don't think he's from the Cleveland area, but he's from Ohio. He played most of the football in Ohio, so it would make sense to consult here, especially when his good friend and mentor, Jim Schwartz, is on the coaching staff. This is a great place for him to land for a year or two while he still gets paid all that Titans money and figures out what he wants his next move to be. Because I'm sure if you're Mike Vrabel, you have a ton of options. You could coach somewhere in college. You can coach somewhere in the NFL. Or maybe Mike Vrabel is waiting out the Ryan Day situation in Ohio State. It's also something to think about, right? Maybe he didn't want to just accept the job because the right opportunity wasn't there for him, right? None of the opportunities that NFL teams were offering this year were great. That fired their coach. But the college offerings that were up, we all thought that there was a chance Ryan Day might get fired. Maybe this is where Mike Vrabel waits it out, because if Ohio State loses to Michigan again, if Ohio State disappoints again, then Ryan Day's seat's going to be pretty damn hot. It's been hot for the last couple of years. It's going to be pretty damn hot. And Mike Vrabel might be right in position to swoop that up. So I know people are making this about Mike Vrabel I know not people, some people are making this about Mike Vrabel potentially trying to swoop up the Browns job. I don't think that's the job that he's trying to swoop up. I think he's trying to get that Ohio State job. I think he's trying to wait. And I think that's why he hasn't been super eager about re-entering the job market and signing a new contract with the NFL team, because he might want to stay available for the right opportunity. Something to think about. But the other bit of news, now that I can finally get to it, is that Jerry Jeudy restructured his contract to free up $10 million of cap space. He was at $13 million. The restructure will take him down to $3 million. And I bet, similar to Jed Wills, they're going to void out the next 4 years. Now, the thing that's interesting about this, as Jack Duffin has pointed out, is that this is not your average restructure, right? This is a restructure that had to be agreed to terms, where when you're restructuring Deshaun Watson, you're basically just giving him his money now in a money order, or Myles Garrett or David Njoku. Like, these restructures are pretty Simple. No money's being moved, no years are being added. But Jerry Jeudy's restructure is interesting because it makes it as if the 5th year of his rookie deal, or wherever he is on his rookie deal, his last year of his rookie deal, is his first year of a new contract when it comes to a cap number. Now, they voided out, if they did this like Jed Wills, they voided out the rest of the cap hit for like $2 million for like the next 4 years in dead money, which means that they want to bring him back. The groundwork's already set for a new contract. If they don't, then they don't. But this is a big deal. They freed up $10 million. This is all, we thought they would just eat the $13 million at wide receiver that Jerry Jeudy was going to be set to take up. They're not, which makes me wonder, like, we still have the Deshaun Watson restructure to be announced. We still have, David Njoku, all of these other restructures that we know are probably likely to come to free up some cap space for the Cleveland Browns, still kind of on the board. And it makes you wonder, do they have something planned? Do they have something in the works? Are they trying to free up some money here? Because to do the deals that they've already done, they don't really need to restructure this contract, right? So it makes you wonder, okay, what do they have planned? Do they still have something up their sleeve? I know some people have thrown out DeForest Buckner as a possibility, but this Jerry Jeudy restructure, it's not a guarantee that they make a big move off of this. Let me make that clear. But the possibility is not zero, right? This is a move that makes me think, what are they up to? Right? Like, that's an interesting one to slide under there, right? Interestingly enough, they slit this one out and then boom, bam, through the Mike Vrabel news, which they knew would get a lot of traction in the media on top of it. What are they up to? What are they up to? What's Andrew Berry got going? It's interesting. Interesting to see. So, all in all, good news for the Browns. They free up $10 million in cap space with the restructure of Jerry Jeudy's deal. I think I was listening to Jake Burns and Andrew Spade on the Orange and Brown Report podcast, and they were talking about, you trade for Jerry Jeudy with this level of familiarity with him, because the Browns been trying to get him for like 2 years. So you've talked to his agent before, and you probably have a good idea of what that contract should be. Like, if Jerry Jeudy wants an extension now. And I wonder if they feel so highly about his ability to kind of pick it up with them and Deshaun Watson at quarterback that they might just send him, like they might do what they did with David Njoku, where they signed David Njoku to the extension early. But since David Njoku hit, didn't matter, actually ended up being a very good contract for the Cleveland Browns. Like, the Browns will sign somebody a little early. They did this with Grant Delpit. They're probably going to do it with JOK. So we'll see. But interesting news today, right? Interesting news today. The Browns did not sign anybody, but they did make some moves around the edges that are pretty interesting, and I think people are going to be excited about. Mike Vrabel being here as a consultant is always something fun. You want to add some experience there. I don't think he'll be in the building every day, right? Consultants usually aren't. It's a consultant for an NFL team, by the way, is a part-time job, right? It's somebody who's brought in kind of just to be on retainer for the team. So, you're paid officially, but it's kind of just to make sure that you're with the team. I think they did something similar with Jim Schwartz before. So, I think in Tennessee. So I think this is just repaying that favor. But that's my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Y'all have a great day. Have an even better night. Peace.